This is the Bitcoin 1 month overview reading for the month of October 2023. It's currently August 12th, 2023, 5:46 p.m. Eastern Time. Bitcoin at the time of this reading is currently $29,403.65. That's USD. And the shuffle file for the October Bitcoin reading was created on August 1st, 2023 at 2:25 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. The overall theme and behavior for Bitcoin, it's looking mixed. We have a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. It's crossed with a rally, a notable rally on the scale of like a year-to-date chart, and that rally offers opportunity to open up a short position or close a long position. Overall, looking at the month from like a glance on the 1 year, it's relatively bullish, and especially towards the end of the month. But there is a prominent trough in here in the early part of the month. Behavior around the highest high, we have a key resistance level that's highlighted at the high. The Ace of Swords in a lot of cases will indicate a highest high. If it was an Ace of Swords on like a 1 year, it could often indicate a highest high. And there is possibility of a highest high here, like reaching a highest high and then seeing it again at the end of the year. Behavior around the lows, and there'll be a lot of price change between the high and low. And the behavior around the low, there's a peak that we sell off from pretty notably on a at least like a 1 month kind of scale. A peak that we sell off from pretty notably like a sharp sell-off into the low of October. And so that sharp sell-off into the low starts from a peak, a prominent peak, and then it looks like out of the low there's a pretty big move to the upside really standing out as well. So the lows being here early in the month, when we look at September was generally really bearish. So that decline carried into October, where we see this trough form, or the lows form, after a notable decline. There's a lot going on here in the first week as far as possible locations of a lowest low. And then it looks like we probably have multiple new highs or multiple highest highs here towards the end of the month. Before we go any further though, let's take a look at the August reading and see how we're doing thus far. So it looks like we caught a low here on the 1st, 2nd, and then a prominent peak or crest on the 8th. And it looks like we have another lowest low here around the 11th, 12th. Doesn't look like we came close, but it didn't come out to be an exact like a as low as low. It's a pretty prominent low, but not the lowest low. So the lowest low we got was here, and then there's almost as low on here. But that would make a lot of sense when you have such an overarching like bullish overarching trend like the Aeon card. That would mean that like there'd be a skew to the upside. Yeah, it gets pretty bullish from here, but this is looking pretty solid. I left out a high, I think. Well, I have it for like the 4th, 5th. It ended up being on the 2nd. And then there's that high around the 8th. But overall, pretty solid reading. So July, we had this rally to the high, offering opportunity to open up a short position. Like the cusp of July, August was the unicursal. Don't chase the rally. Instead, there's a move to the downside. We should have a reversal near the low and another big move higher. But this is looking pretty solid as well. All right, so let's get into it. So on the 1st, we have the establishment of support and then a big move higher, standing out on a multi-day scale, followed by establishment of support at a higher price level. On the 2nd, the Ace of Discs can often be a bottom, but my sense is that it may not be a bottom in this case. There's a lot of price change there, and it may be to the upside, followed by a significant trough to the downside. So like we start to the upside, sideways rotation out of the 1st into the 2nd, and then a significant trough, a decline to a significant decline to a trough towards the end of the day on the 3rd. An important resistance level highlighted on the 3rd, where we kind of flatten out, and then on the 3rd more decline, possibly to a lowest low there. The decline offers opportunity to trade. I'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. Notable move to the upside, kind of like end of day on the 4th. But that rally into a prominent peak or crest on the 5th ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us back down to, looks like, where we might have a lowest low again on the 6th. And there's tricky chart behavior there, maybe sideways rotation or maybe like a fake out of some kind, but we most likely see the lowest low again there on the 6th, 7th, but probably the 6th. On the 7th, we have 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend. There's also a prominent trough there on the 8th. We decline to and through support. We do to meet a second support, and then we rotate sideways along that support. We may see the low like 2 or 3 times here. Also, another bottom card here on the 10th. In any case, on the 9th, we rally into a key resistance on a multi-day scale, and from there we decline with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. That decline continues into the 10th, offering a trade opportunity at a significant trough. There's a trade opportunity on the 9th as well. We'll talk about the trade opportunity there on the 9th, 10th, and 11th in more detail in the paid version. If you're interested in the paid version, the way that you get the paid version, you go to our services, SO Meta Posts, scroll down to monthly subscription. This is really a great way to support the channel. Click on Bitcoin and subscribe, and that'll get you the paid version of the monthly Bitcoin reading, which includes everything that the public version has, but then it has an additional 3 to 8 minutes of content where we discuss the best trades that we see, what trades to avoid, what type of chart behavior to look for as far as entry and exits and stuff like that. Highly valuable, highly recommend it. And if you want the paid information for all of these, or more than one ticker, you can get the paid information. You can get this is subscription for $250, which is a total steal. Gives you access to the paid version of all of these tickers, as well as tickers that you don't get an individual. You can't get an individual subscription for, like Google and Amazon. You have to get this subscription in order to see the paid version of those. So thank you very much to those of you that go ahead and do that. Out of the decline and the trough on the 10th, there's a big move to the upside on the 11th, reaching for a distant resistance and taking us to a prominent peak or crest on the 12th, where there's a notable fake out or shakeout on a 1 month scale standing out. On the 13th, another prominent peak or crest. There's a decline and then ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us to a peak or crest, which may actually end up being the peak or crest may end up being at the end of the day on the 14th, in which case we decline from that peak or crest through multiple support levels into a prominent trough on the 14th, another prominent trough on the 15th. There is a bit of a rally on the 15th, but it does end and we go to another trough. It's really mixed there, 14th, 15th, 16th. On the 16th, more decline, but then we have a sideways fluctuating rally out of that decline into the 17th, where we likely have a peak or crest, a prominent peak or crest on the 17th, and then there's a notable decline in the Magus card there on the 18th to revisit a support level, and then volatility ends on the 19th with a fast sudden move higher out of a trough towards the end of the day, a fast sudden move higher, and then a pop and drop on 20th with the trough towards the cusp of the 20th, 21st, and then big move to the upside after establishing support in the early part of the day on the 21st. Big move to the upside standing out, taking us to a peak or crest on the 22nd, where we very likely have a highest high thus far there on the 22nd. And that peak or crest we sell off from down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below support, come back and reuse it as support. On the 23rd, 3 pokes through the same price level, followed by a sharp drop off of that third poke. And then on the 4th, a lot of price change covered and important resistance. This is most likely where we have the highest high for the month. It may be that we see a highest high thus far on the 21st and then a higher high on the 24th, but we most likely have the highest high right here on the 24th in a period of volatility. On the 25th, a lot of price change. So there's a highest high on the 24th midday after a big move out of a trough midday to the upside to a highest high midday, and then we decline into the 25th. There's a trough early in the day on the 25th, and then a big move to the upside to another peak or crest there on the cusp of the 25th, 26th, where we have a notable reversal, a trade opportunity, and then another significant trough after a sharp drop on the cusp of the 26th, 27th. Takes us to a trough early in the day on the 27th, a trough that we meet in a sharp drop within a period of sideways rotation, and we revisit a trough there. 28th as well, there's an important trough. Notable decline on the 29th through multiple supports, and then out of that decline on the 30th, we have a big move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range. Rally continues into the 31st along a diagonal trend line, but ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line, taking us in with increasing volatility on the way down, taking us into another prominent trough for the month. Sneak preview for the following month, we have a notable move to the upside, offering opportunity to close out of a long position or open up a short position. And that's Bitcoin for October 2023. Be sure to follow that rule of karma, my friends. It's super important. You do so here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that you donate 5% of the profits. To be an angel investor of this channel, you're donating 5% of the profits forward under resources tab to one of these charities. and 5% of the profits back to the channel here at one of these links, leaving you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love, and the universe will send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. And stay tuned, my friends. If you got the paid version, we're going to get into the best trades next.